Before we begin tonight's contest, we ask that all fans and athletes in attendance tonight please rise and face the southern scoreboard as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Introducing the starting lineup for the visiting Coolidge Bears. Number 1, Drew McWilliams. Number 3, Shay Clegg. Number 10, Brooklyn Pablo. Number 20, Grace Thompson. And number 22, Chelsea Downs. And now, make some noise for your Santan Foothills Sabercats. Number 2, Armani Rodriguez. Number 5, Emily Sarton. Number 11, A.J. Williams. Number 12, Morgan Tompkins. And number 20, Alexis Drake.
All right, fans, welcome to our varsity girls matchup between the Santan Foothills High School Sabercats and the Coolidge Bears. I'll be joined shortly by Mr. Steve Miller. This is Mr. Matthew Perales. And we're glad that you're with us here tonight. Tip-off won by the Sabercats. Emily Sarton with the recovery. Passes to Morgan Tompkins at the top of the key. Morgan over to Armani Rodriguez. Armani looks inside to Morgan Tompkins, who gets the ball into the basket, passes it back to Armani, who tosses it out of bounds. Turnover to the Bears. Bringing the ball up court is number 10, Brooklyn Pablo, sorry. And we have a turnover to the Sabercats. Morgan Tompkins takes the ball up the court. Passes over to Emily Sarton, who shoots for three. No good. Coolidge ball. Welcome to the booth, Mr. Miller.
Mr. Perales, it's good to be back, especially having missed the Florence game on Friday. It's just good to be back up here and watching more varsity-level basketball.
Always good to have you and to have another voice other than me.
As many people know, I was watching the game from home, and you were kind of droning on there for a while, Mr. Perales, so it's good to be back.
It's good to bounce back and forth, yeah, for sure. We have a foul on Emily Sarton, her first, team first.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think we're going to watch for in this game right here is if you look at the Coolidge roster for tonight, they only have 6 active players as we begin tonight's contest. So any kind of foul trouble could have a monumental impact on this game.
And as the game goes on, the conditioning is really going to be tested here with only one player to take a spot and give somebody a break.
And as we say that, it looks like there's a reaching foul called on number 3, Shea Clegg, for the Bears. That's going to be her first and team's first. Here we are a minute into the game, and the first team foul called against the Bears.
Inbound to A.J. Williams, who hits up Sarton for 3, but no good. Recovery by the Bears. Number 10, Brooklyn Pablo with the rebound. Pablo gets her own rebound.
That was a nice little floater by Brooklyn Pablo that just didn't go in. SaberCats need to tighten up that defense, particularly around the key.
And I know that's been a focus of theirs all season, is to box out and get the rebound and not give the defense or the other side, I guess, multiple opportunities.
And while you see 2 offensive rebounds on that possession, while I was pre-game over on the Santan Foothills sideline, Coach Habinger was really drilling into the players, box out, box out, box out.
Yeah. Starting for 2 there. Looked like a three-pointer, but must have had her foot on the line. And so Santan will score first, and we'll have a carry against the Bears.
There's a carry. That carry call is something that you don't see called that often at this level, particularly when there's not defensive pressure being put on, but the referees appear to be keeping a close eye on this game.
Just get your hand a little bit too far on the side, and they'll call it on you. Turnover, unforced by the SaberCats, and Brooklyn Pablo brings the ball up the court. Nice movement by the Bears, and Brooklyn Pablo scores that putback.
And that's exactly what Coach was talking about before the game. You fail to box out on that shot, you give up the offensive rebound, and now we're tied at 2 with 5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, those second chance points are going to get you every time. And Emily Sarton has taken another 3-point and misses again.
So it looks like Coolidge is content to play kind of a slower-paced, half-court style game as we see a personal foul called. I think that's going to be on number 5, Emily Sarton. But, because of the shortness on the roster there and because of the potential for foul trouble, really playing a slow-paced game thus far.
Yeah, and it's going to benefit them, again, as I said, with the conditioning, too, as we get late into the game. You're right, that was on Sarton. That'll be her second, team second.
And you do not like seeing Sarton get in foul trouble this early because she is such a key part of the SaberCat offense and defense.
She definitely is. And we have our second free throw here.
So Shea Clegg goes 0 for 2, and this score remains tie as you see the SaberCats try to go for a fast break opportunity with a long pass to Emily Sarton, who wasn't running down the court. She was expecting the pass to come to her stationary, and that's a turnover. Bears have possession at the top of the key.
I like the idea of pushing the tempo, again, because we've mentioned the short-staffed Bears here. But it can't lead to more fouls like this, so that's going to be on A.J. Williams, her first, team third.
And everybody on the team has to be on the same page because, like we talk about, basketball is a team game. And when you're playing a slow-paced half-court offense like the Bears, you kind of get lulled in that slow pace of play, and then if one player on Foothills has the idea to run, but the other 4 ladies don't, that can cause some turnovers and some misplays.
As we saw just a minute ago. Morgan Tompkins across half court. Dribbles out to the right. A.J. Williams called for a travel there. Turnover to the Bears.
And while this is only a 1-point game thus far, it does appear the Bears seem to be on a more solid game plan with their offensive rebounding and the lack of turnovers. Or right now, that's what the SaberCats need to be aware of as this game moves on.
They're certainly playing a cleaner game here as Drew McWilliams takes a 3-point shot and misses. And it's 5-2 Bears. Morgan Tompkins at the top of the key. Passes over to A.J. Williams, who can't get a handle on it. And Chelsea Downs takes that ball away, but turns it back over to the Cats.
And it looks like checking in is number 14, Mallory Matthews. As you watch the Bears, it's one of those plays where you pick up the ball intending to pass, see that your passing lane's been cut off, but then you're in no man's land and you end up traveling with the basketball.
Williams passes into Matthews. Matthews goes up for it, misses. Rebound by Pablo.
A good block there by Brooklyn Pablo, keeping her hand straight up and not hitting the wrist on that shot attempt.
Drew McWilliams for 3, no good. A.J. Williams with the rebound, passes to Morgan Tompkins, who will take it up court.
A.J. Williams, good box out there. Even though Coolidge appeared to get the rebound, she had such good positioning that they were able to hold that defensive rebound.
Speaking of rebounds, Sarton with that rebound, drives in, tries to get it to Matthews, but just miscalculates. Bears ball. 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Another great rebound there by Morgan Tompkins as the fast break, led by Tompkins, stalls in the key.
And Emily Sarton for 3, no good.
I think she's 0 for 3 on the game right now. She did have a longer shot that counted as a 2, but that long-range shot just doesn't seem to be on target, so you'd like to see the SaberCats maybe work that ball in and get a couple easy shots to work up that shooting rhythm.
It'll draw the defense in and give her a little bit more space. Not that she's been particularly challenged on her three-pointers.
And that shot there by Grace Thompson of Coolidge. 7-2 lead with 2 minutes remaining to go until the end of the first half.
Okay, we're going to have a 3-point foul here. Sarton will be on the line to shoot 3.
That's kind of what you talked about earlier. You keep taking those long shots. The defense is coming out to pressure those shots, and in this case, you're going to end up with 3 free throws for Emily Sarton.
She's usually pretty good with the free throws, too, so let's see if she can convert that foul on number 22, Chelsea Downs, her first team second. I think I jinxed her. She missed the first one, but she has 2 more to go.
Yeah, no, I've seen the Dr. Pepper commercial about jinxing, and this one is solely on you, Matt Perales. That shot was going to be in.
That one probably was, too.
0 for 2 for Sarton.
We have a sub in Shariah Morris coming in for A.J. Williams.
And as a SaberCat fan, you hope that Sarton makes this final of 3 free throws and just finds a shooting rhythm, and those shots start going down with a little less effort, because right now everything seems a little bit labored.
Yeah, she needs to start the scoring for her, and there you go. You called it. You unjinxed it. Sarton with her last free throw, 7-3 for the Bears.
SaberCats stay in this zone defense as Chelsea Downs moves into the lane, shoots the contested layup, and it goes down.
She was double teamed there, and they played the defense just like they needed to play the defense, but sometimes the shot still falls. And Mallory Matthews tries to score from the block, but loses the ball. Contested by the Bears. Coach wants him to slow down a little bit, set up the thumb waggle play.
And do you think the SaberCats, the ladies are so used to playing at a more frantic pace, driving the ball down, as you see a long shot attempt there is no good, out of bounds, will be Santan ball, but they're so used to playing that fast rate of play, they're so used to swinging the ball and having the defense move with them that when you have this slower defense, this methodical offense, it seems to be throwing off the chemistry of the SaberCat team right now.
Yeah, you definitely have to play your game and not make them play your game or their game, and right now it seems to be working against the SaberCats.
Another offensive rebound, that one by Shea Clegg off. Passes it down low. Brooklyn Pablo misses.
Matthews gets a rebound to Armani Rodriguez, who goes to Sarton, up to Tompkins. Tompkins gets it into Matthews, back out to Sarton, who shoots three. Still short. On the backboard. Hopefully she's dialing it in here. We'll see. She's about to take another one. Nope, passes into Mallory Matthews. Out to Morgan Tompkins. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Hopefully they realize that, and she shoots behind the basket. Bears ball, 4.5 left.
And as we get ready to head to the end of the first quarter, Coach Havinger does have a lot to talk about with her team. By no means out of it, but just lots of little things that the team can work on to try and clean up some of these unforced errors we're seeing.
Reinforce the box out. Make sure that you're getting... That was a nice job of Shariah Moore to intercept that pass and waste all the time on the clock so we could go to the quarter.
All right, so that buzzer does take us to the end of the first quarter. We'll be back after this.
And we're back for our second quarter of play. Your SaberCats are down 3-9. Bears ball for the start of the second quarter. Inbound to Brooklyn Pablo, who will take it up court. Top of the key met by Morgan Tompkins. Passes over to Shea Clegg. Back up to Drew McWilliams. And again, there's another offensive rebound by the Bears.
It's hard to win when you don't have the ball on the offensive side, and that's exactly what the Bears are doing. They're just getting those offensive rebounds and keeping possession away from the SaberCats. In that particular play, we have a jump ball called with the possession arrow in favor of the SaberCats. But if the SaberCats are going to come back, they're going to have to possess the ball a little bit more and start converting on some of these trips down the court.
Sarton takes another three and misses. Off of blue is the call. So it'll be SaberCat ball. Morgan Tompkins. Into Matthews in the paint, and she's going to draw the foul and go to the line to shoot two.
And that's what you need. You need aggressive play. You need to get the Bears to draw some fouls and start second-guessing some of these offensive rebounds. Start repositioning themselves on the court to avoid the fouls, and that will open up some scoring chances for the SaberCats.
That's Kaylee Hendry with her first team third foul, and Matthews misses the first.
And so far, this lead is a difference of free throws. You had the missed free throws on the three-point attempt. You've had a couple 0 for 2 trips to the line. And if you convert on even 4 of those 6, all of a sudden this is within a 1-point game.
Definitely. Matthews makes her second there, so SaberCats now trail by 5. Nice block by Morgan Tompkins, and Armani Rodriguez takes the ball up the court. Passes to Shariah Moore. Probably could have been a travel, but they let it go.
But that is good defense there. Getting her hands in that passing lane, knocking that ball loose, and getting a turnover.
Starting for 3, no good still. Shariah Moore with a rebound. Back up to Tompkins on top. Inside to our Rodriguez, who can't get a handle on it. And turnover to Brooklyn Pablo.
And just reading the first quarter and a half here, it doesn't seem like the three-point shot is going to be the pathway to victory. Santan really needs to change up their strategy and get points on the board some other way.
That's going to be Sarton's third foul. She got called for a push there. So I got to imagine she's coming out here for at least the rest of the half. And Becerra looks to check in for Sarton here.
Yeah, and that push was really just an effort play, trying to get the steal, running into the back of the offensive player. But she did definitely run into the back of that player and draws the third foul.
3 in the key is the call. And so it's going the other way. We got a sub, should be checking in here.
Looks like the timer didn't blow the horn on that one, so Becerra will stay on the sideline with Emily Sarton in.
Hopefully that, I believe it's going to be against Brooklyn Pablo. Nope, 22, I believe.
It's number 22, Chelsea Downs of the Bears, her second.
And now we're going to have the sub for Sarton. Okay, Rodriguez with the inbound. Gets it to Morgan Tompkins right under the basket and puts 2 points in.
And that's the kind of play that you want to see right there. Run up inbound play, get a wide open shot, hit that free throw, and cut that lead to 3.
I want to see, because Becerra is a pretty good three-point shooter, I kind of want to see a good defensive stop here and a three-point shot by Becerra. See if she's on tonight.
Speaking of three-pointers, that right there is Brooklyn Pablo from downtown. 3 points for the Bears. Extend the lead 6-12 with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
Tompkins to Rodriguez, who's going to draw the foul. And again, the other thing we really need to do if you're a SaberCat is draw those fouls, drive in to the paint, and really, get them into foul trouble sooner rather than later.
And you have another inbound play here that you could potentially score off of. Just like the same place they're inbounding as the last scoring opportunity they had. This one defended a little bit better by the Bears as they draw a turnover.
This time Morgan was on the other block, and it's a little bit harder to get it crossed there.
It's so hard to reverse those plays. I remember playing high school basketball and the amount of time we spent working on the left-handed layup, and for all the practice, it still never felt natural, and just players don't like to run from that side.
Yeah, as a coach, you'd see them running the layup drills, still shooting with their right hand when they're on the left side. And there's another 3 by Brooklyn Pablo.
Oh, and that was almost undefendable. She was probably 24 feet away from the basket when she released that one, and it went right in.
Not a whole lot you can do about that. But you can get offensive rebounds and score like Mallory Matthews just did.
Nice play by Mallory Matthews, turning that failed three-point shot into a positive play.
If they hadn't scored, I would recommend a timeout to make sure things don't get away from them here. But with that score, I think.
Yeah, and you really got to keep a close eye on Chelsea Downs, who's just getting hot from beyond the arc. And speaking of timeouts, you do have a timeout called there by Coolidge. The coach seems to be a little bit frustrated that they weren't running whatever play he had called in.
Yeah, I didn't see if it was a waggly thumb or something else this time. He wants them to get some water. Being short players, hydration is key.
That's a good coaching move, recognizing that you're shorthanded, recognizing that the ladies whether they're running the plays effectively, whether they're doing what they've done in practice, for all that, one thing is for sure, they're going to get fatigued out there. And as a coach, just recognizing that and making sure that you're accounting for that in your timeouts and during your breaks.
Timeouts are only good if you use them. And inbound here by Drew McWilliams to Brooklyn Pablo. Drew McWilliams for three. Almost, but no, not quite. It's going to be a SaberCat ball.
It looks like it was tipped off of Drew McWilliams there. So up the court comes Morgan Tompkins.
And Sarton back in. Shoots a three and no good. Coach is pretty upset there. Becerra scores and one.
So if you can't hit the three-pointer from behind the arc, you do it the old-fashioned way.
That's right. 3-point play attempt here.
A good move by Becerra. She has a chance to close this lead to 4 points as we have a score of 15-10, 3 minutes and 46 seconds remaining until halftime with Becerra having one free throw.
That foul on number 22, her third, Chelsea Downs. Team sixth.
You know, and she's been such a big part of this offense, especially with her three-point shooting. Chelsea Downs is a big player to be in foul trouble. And what's interesting about her, she's only a freshman, so the Bears have a lot to look forward to with her play from what we're seeing tonight.
Definitely. And we're going to have one the other way.
And Coolidge does have the answer with a three-point play attempt of their own here.
Let's see who that foul's on.
It will be Brooklyn Pablo at the line for the one free throw attempt.
And that's on Alexis Draves.
You know, and normally at this point in the game, we've called Alexis Draves' name a lot in the games that we called. Tonight she's been strangely silent, and you wonder if maybe that's one of the keys to victory for Santans is getting Draves involved.
She definitely works the middle. You know, that's her natural position there. And so we've been mostly taking perimeter shots. So I think you're right there. And we're going to have a three-point foul here, I think. Oh, no. Just a foul on number 3.
That was on the floor. But, yeah, it looked for a second that they were calling a three-point shot attempt. That it was on number 3, Shea Clay.
He is. He's putting her on the line.
Definitely the benefit of the call there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess she had the upward motion. Okay, first one's good. It's a 5-point game again.
Oh, no, that wasn't. That was a 1+1. That's why we're shooting free throws right here. 7th team foul called against Coolidge. So.
Okay, well, the first one's in. Second one is not, but rebound to Coolidge. Good call. I was curious how that was a shooting foul, but.
Yeah, sometimes being up here in the stands, no one tells us what's going on in these games.
We just guess, really. Alexis Draves with that rebound. And we're going to have Morgan Tompkins shooting too.
And that was a great play by Morgan Tompkins because the defender had a good defensive position, and she kind of forced that contact. The defender didn't give way, and you've drawn another foul, that one on number 20.
First foul for her, 8th team foul.
And that's not what you wanted as a Coolidge fan. You don't want to see 8 team fouls when you only have 6 active players on your roster.
That's right. About Becerra just about picks off the ball, disrupts the play. It'll be Bears ball, 2:51 left in the half.
Yeah, good effort by Becerra. Really, since she's come off the bench, she's made a lot of good effort plays, and seems to be a reason why Santan is able to stay in this game, keep pace with the Bears.
She's a solid senior, definitely a leader on the team. And that's going to be SaberCat ball. Sarah to Tompkins. Tompkins takes it up the court. 5-point game, 2.5 left. Tompkins drives it, misses the layup. Little jumper, and Coolidge rebounds. That's another reason you want to see rebounding on the offensive side is those second chance points or third chance points.
And Coolidge is doing a really good job in the half-court set of getting the ball moving in both directions, of passing it to one side of the court and having players move in the opposite direction. It seems to be getting Santan out of position, and while they're recovering nicely, it is opening up some shot opportunities for the Bears.
I didn't see who the foul call was on, but it was against Santan, obviously. Morgan Tompkins up into the stands.
And I think that last foul was called on number 12, Morgan Tompkins, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll buy it. But we're going to have...
moving screen there on Shea Clegg. Just putting her hip into that screen, caught by the referees, and I think that might be number 2 or 3. Number 3 on Clegg.
There's a couple players now with 3.
On a wide open shot attempt here, but closed on nicely by Santan, forcing the travel that was almost an easy 2 points, turned out into a turnover because of good hustle by the Foothills girls.
Yeah, sometimes you hear the footsteps coming behind you. You get a little bit nervous, look over your shoulder, and just shuffle your feet. Missed shot, rebound by Draves.
Good inside presence there as
and another foul.
Morgan Tompkins drives the lane and draws the foul.
I think they're listening into us because that was one thing we said was the key to the game here was just getting inside, drawing the fouls, and getting them into foul trouble. That foul on number 2, Precious Jordan.
And now you're talking about the double bonus here, which probably doesn't have that big of an impact on the game with 1 minute and 37 seconds left. But the fact that you've gotten the 10 fouls to be in the double bonus, really important in this game.
Actually, not on number 2. That was a scorer's error there. I think we're going to get a call on maybe number 20. But we'll see.
Yeah, number 2, Precious Jordan, actually not on the active roster tonight.
It's not hard to check the numbers when there's only 6 of them. And, we have a lane violation. So we're going to get another shot from Morgan.
You know, and the Bears really are missing Precious Jordan. Like I've seen her playing games against Florence and some of the other sites, and she really is a talented player, really fast player, and I'm sure that the Bears are missing her tonight.
And anytime you're missing a senior, that's going to be some leadership loss there for you. Four-point game, 1.5 left in the second quarter. Cats look to close this, and A.J. Williams comes away with the ball. Morgan Tompkins dribbles up court. Looks at Mallory Matthews, but Brooklyn Pablo is there instead, who takes it and lays it up for 2 more points for the Bears.
Yeah, but we're starting to see a faster-paced game here. So the SaberCats might be kind of baiting Coolidge into this fast-style run-and-gun offense, and that is going to benefit them in the second half, no doubt.
Absolutely, and Morgan Tompkins there looks to score a couple points or draw a foul and does neither. .44 seconds left. And we'll have a foul on probably Valerie Becerra.
And that is a bonus opportunity for Coolidge as Shea Clegg will go to the line shooting 1+1. This will be the first attempt for the Bears at a 1+1 tonight.
Her first, team 7th.
You know, and the 6-point lead for the Bears, it's kind of a sneaky 6-point lead where watching the game, you don't see it as that lopsided, but that is the score, and a big hole for the SaberCats to climb out of here.
They've taken advantage of the opportunities that they've had. They haven't forced anything, really. A little bit of foul trouble, but overall they're taking smart shots as she takes a 3 and misses, that being Shea Clegg. And it'll be Santan ball for the final 20 seconds. We'll see what they can do with it. Sarah misses from 3. Rebound by Drew McWilliams.
5 seconds remaining. Bears put up the three-pointer. Very close, but no good. Rebound is by Mallory Matthews, but not with enough time to do anything. And that horn will end our first half of play.
Yeah, we're going in the locker room down 19-13. Game not over by any means, and we'll see you after the break. And we're back for our second half of play. Inbound Coolidge, who has possession. Brooklyn Pablo with a shot, a rebound, and a shot. Puts 2 points on the board quick for the Bears. Morgan Tompkins looks to arrange traffic. Valerie Becerra dribbles around the top of the key. Pass over to Shariah Moore. Back to Morgan Tompkins. Morgan Tompkins cross-court pass to Becerra. And back up to Tompkins. Becerra hits Tompkins to Mallory Matthews. Sorry, back to Becerra. Shoots and misses. Rodriguez gets a hand on it, but it goes to the Bears. Oh. Okay, and we're going to have a call on number 3.
An offensive foul right there on Shea Clegg for
fourth.
Pushing off with the forearm, and that spells big trouble for the Bears right there.
That's I don't know if I would call that, but we'll see how it goes. And Rodriguez under the basket to Mallory Matthews on the other side. Out to Becerra. Drives. No shot.
And it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments the SaberCats make coming out of halftime, as you see Clegg with the tip to herself. Drives and fouled by number 1, Shariah Moore. Very early here in the second half of play.
And if I'm Shea Clegg, I don't know that I'm driving into players with 4 fouls.
No, you want to stay aggressive, but definitely you lower that shoulder, you draw another offensive foul, and that's it for your night.
Yeah. Shariah Moore's first, team first. Misses that free throw.
And that's really just a discipline thing. Specifically, you see it a lot with high school athletes, where they're very athletically talented, but it's that control and that ability to turn it off in game situations that young athletes can struggle with.
Shea makes a second, and Tompkins takes it in. Well, and the refs are calling the game really tight. Tighter than you usually see at this point of the season, and she's just taking some risks here. And again, she drives it into Tompkins, but scores that time.
And a good risk there as she does get her hand in and drives for the easy layup, but just one more time, you get the wrist, you get the arm, you get a body, and that's your night.
Got a foul on Rodriguez. It'll be her first, team second. Neither ref apparently wants to take the ball.
Well, you think the air conditioning is probably working better on the south end of the court, so both the referees are fighting over who gets to be on the baseline on the south side of the court.
Is that the theory we're going with here? I'll buy it.
I mean, obviously, I've been reading their lips the entire game through their masks.
Steal by the SaberCats, and they're looking to make something of it, but Coolidge disrupts.
Oh, and there's so much body contact by both teams as they go after that loose ball. No whistle. But as tightly as this game has been called, it's surprising you didn't see a whistle there.
Absolutely. That's what I was thinking.
Nice bounce pass into Mallory Matthews.
She steps out of bounds. Can't quite get the angle she wants. Bears ball.
Looks like we're going to have Shantaria Sanders checking in for Armani Rodriguez. It's the first time we've called her name tonight, and this might be the first time she's entering the game.
This is her first time in for the evening. Shantaria is a senior for the SaberCats.
Let's see if that senior leadership can translate into some points, as the SaberCats are still facing an 11-point deficit with 15-15 remaining in quarter number 3.
We'll have a jump ball, and that's going to go to Santan. Morgan Tompkins takes the ball up the court. Hits Shantaria, who passes back out to Tompkins. Thinks about a 3. Shariah Moore takes a long 2. No good. Off blue, though, so SaberCats retain possession. Becerra for 2. Should have shot from 3, though, because that was a little long.
Yeah, and even though it was wide open, it's a tough angle. Nobody's on you. Take that 1 or 2 extra dribbles, move it inside, and hit that layup. And that looks like the exact same play. That might have been a replay of what we just saw 12 seconds earlier.
Just about 3 feet to the right, and I think, and pretty much otherwise exactly spot on. Shariah Moore passes to Tompkins up to the top to Valerie Becerra. Becerra thinks about it, passes to Tompkins. Into Shantiria, who can't get a handle on it, and Pablo will take it down the court. Misses her layup. Shantiria with a rebound, passes to Tompkins.
And all of a sudden, the pace of the whistles has dropped, because even on that play, could have had a travel, could have had a reach, and you end up with no whistle, and it's just such a drastic change from what we saw in the first half of play.
I think it has to be on the referee's mind. I know they want to call a nice, fair, clean game, but it has to be on their mind that there's only 6 girls on Coolidge's side. And just about all of them have 3 or 4 fouls. Shea Clegg taking the ball up the court. Drew Williams totally misses her 3-point shot. Rebound by the Cats. Mallory Matthews to Becerra. Becerra passes to Tompkins. Tompkins with a nice move in the paint. Picks up 2 points for the Cats.
Yeah, nice little stutter step there. It looks like you're going to go up on the right side, change directions, draw the defenders off, and then a nice steal by Becerra as well on the other end of the court.
Hits Shariah Moore, who misses a little bank shot.
Oh, and that shot would have been big and kind of getting these players back in with the momentum, but that missed shot does turn the ball back over to Coolidge, still working with a 9-point lead.
Just doesn't fall for the Bears. Off-white, though. Blue ball under their own basket.
Shot just hung on the rim for it seemed like an eternity.
Yeah, at least a quarter of this game. Speaking of quarters, 3:15 left in the third quarter. Blue ball from the sideline now. Morgan Tompkins with a monster block.
And then Moore reaches her in to knock that pass attempt down. And SaberCats starting to pick up on that defense a little bit, and that might just be enough to throw the Bears off, especially as they're in the back of their mind thinking about that foul trouble that their team is in.
And Shariah Moore for 3 misses. Rebound Draves. Passes out to Becerra. Takes a 2-point shot. No good.
Oh, you'd like to see Draves just put that ball back up. She's got the defender on her back. She does kick the ball out, but I'd like to see her go up and take that shot.
Always go up when you're right under the basket.
If nothing else, you might draw the foul, and that's
right.
something Coolidge can't afford right now.
Absolutely. Draves playing pretty good defense down there. Shea Clegg with the layup, no good.
Bears working on that offensive rebound. Just seem to be everywhere once the shot goes up.
Off-white, it's going to be blue ball again. Three-point shot by McWilliams, no good. Rebound, Cats. Morgan Tompkins. Shariah Moore. Back to Tompkins, over to Becerra. Becerra for 3. Still not falling. And again, as we said before, it's not their night on the perimeter.
No, and if it's not working for you, it's time to change up that strategy. And maybe even pump fake a 3-point shot to get the defender out and then pass the ball into that vacated area and have an open player there for a 10 or 15-foot shot.
Fortunately, the ball's gone cold for the Bears as well, and they haven't extended this lead much, if at all. SaberCat basketball.
And once again, though, you have that offensive rebound with good positioning by Mallory Matthews. She does attempt to pass the ball off to Morgan Tompkins, but with where she's at right there, go straight up and get an easy shot at the layup or get fouled. Inbound comes to Becerra. SaberCats working the ball inside. Kick back out to Williams. Top of the key over to Morgan Tompkins, who shoots. No good. Rebounded by Chelsea Downs. Working on a 5-on-4. And it doesn't matter. 1-on-4 drive there. Works her way through all 4 defenders and puts the ball in.
Should be an 11-point lead. I don't think the last points went on the board for the Bears.
No, they might have been so surprised that the offensive player made their way in to score, as we do see the SaberCats score right there. Might have forgotten to put that on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think it should be 17-26, which I think...
No, and we will definitely check the score while we are at the quarter break. Brooklyn Pablo at the top of the key, content just to slow this game down, maybe try and burn this last 30 seconds of the third quarter. If the SaberCats won't go out and defend, then that time will just tick off the clock.
It's it's definitely to their advantage to slow things down so they can rest up a little bit too. So if I'm AJ Williams, I'm taking a couple steps up and defending.
Just inching her way up is Williams, but still Brooklyn Pablo able to dribble unimpeded as solid pick on the wing leads to another layup for the Coolidge Bears and 2 more points as time expires.
Well, that's 3 quarters of play. We have 8 more minutes, and we'll see what Santan can do with it when we come back. And we're back for our final quarter of play. Coolidge with the ball. Inbound to Brooklyn Pablo. Coolidge with an 11-point lead. Sarton looks to pick that off, but it's going to be Bears ball.
Now, on whatever Coach talked to the SaberCats about during this break, they're going to have to do it quickly as we do start quarter number 4. It is an 11-point game, and you got to do something to make up that, and you got to do it quick.
Scores have come few and far between for both teams this evening, and I agree with the...
You know, that third quarter, just both teams seem to go so cold. Points were at a premium.
That was a lot of pushing there for nothing. Sarton for, I guess, 3, and no good. But Morgan Tompkins gets a rebound, puts it back, and it's a 9-point game.
Yeah, you know, another thing that's gone cold here in the second half is the referees' whistles, which, this sounded like a bird sanctuary for a while here in quarter numbers 1 and 2. Has since gone silent.
Yeah, only 3 team fouls both ways for this half. 2 on Santan and 1 on Coolidge. Like I said, I know they're calling the game, but also I think they're kind of holding back a little bit with all these fouls.
No, it might be where you get into that game flow and all of a sudden the shooting goes cold and there's not as much energy out there on the court. And I think for the referees, they kind of feel that, and it might even be psychological or unintentional. They just stop blowing the whistle because they're in the same pace of the game.
Yeah. Certainly a possibility. Shea Clegg at the top.
Coolidge looks definitely content to dribble near the top of the key for as long as Santan will allow them.
Yeah, with no shot clock, I mean, a slower game favors them because they have the lead and because they have fewer players.
You know, if you can get every possession to last 30 to 45 seconds, you're looking at a situation with Santan where if you're going to get back in this game at that point, you have to convert points on almost every single offensive possession.
Absolutely. Sarton is going to be called for a travel. Coach, I think, has some kind of Morse code language with the players tapping her clipboard on the gym floor. Sometimes easier than yelling. And Brooklyn Pablo makes it look effortless as she...
And, you know, these Bears are really looking for a win. Well, you have the SaberCats here at 3-3. Only 4 games played by the Bears. They're 1-3 on the season, but they're 0 for their last 3. Each game losing pretty definitively.
Yeah, they definitely want to get this W in the books.
However, the SaberCats are still fighting as you see 2 more points up on the board for the SaberCats. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining to go in the 4th quarter. Coolidge still playing a slower brand of basketball as you see a little spin move there by Chelsea Downs. 12-point lead at the 5-minute mark.
And those last 3 minutes basically don't count for the SaberCats. And in fact, they're down more than they were 3 minutes ago.
But within the flow of the game, you know, you can start to see the SaberCats playing a little bit better, the shots going in a little bit easier, but then on the other side of the court, the same thing's happening for Coolidge, and you're not getting much traction in trying to close in on this lead.
Seems like both teams are matching each other this evening. When one team gets hot, the other team gets hot to match.
But it's strange. It's one of those games where on any given night, as you see Chelsea Downs score again, on any given night you could see a little shift in momentum, and the score could easily be just as lopsided the other way.
Sarton misses another 3. I'm not counting, but...
It's a lot.
It's a lot. 0 for 7. That's a guess.
You know, I'm guessing at right now on the 3-point side of the ball, for 3-point shooting, SaberCats are probably below 10% right now from what we've seen.
I can't recall them making one, but...
And so if you're doing that, and you've taken probably 15 to 20 3-point shots, you even hit 25% right there. Now that's 15 points. It's not that unreasonable to think that you could hit 1 of 4 3-point shots, and now that 15-point turns what right now is a 14-point lead for Coolidge into a 1-point lead for Santan Foothills.
Yep. Or if you take all those 3s and turn them into 2s, even that would help.
Yeah. It's one of the things that makes the game so much fun is you can sit here and what if it. And it's not going to change the outcome, but it's learning from those game moments and saying, should we have continued to take all these 3-point shots, or should we have changed our game plan and maybe move the ball in a little bit more? And while it may not impact you here, reflecting on that can impact you the rest of the season and maybe get you some wins against some other teams as the season moves on.
Right. I have a feeling Coach probably said something like that to him, like, let's lay off the 3, see if we can get some inside opportunities. Valley Bracera misses and rebound to Coolidge.
It's just a really off-shooting night for the SaberCats, almost from the opening tip-off, and sometimes you just have nights like that.
I don't want to blame the athletic trainer, but he did change the net on our side of the court just before this game.
Now you got to say that was some top-notch equipment managing skills.
I loved it.
As we tick to the 4-minute mark of the 4th and final quarter, still looking at a 14-point lead for the Coolidge Bears as we see a traveling call there. That traveling call against number 20, Grace Thompson. Yeah, this is normally the part of the game where you kind of put in your bench and let them get some playing time. Not going to see that out of the Bears tonight.
No. Soraya Moore for 3. Misses. And Coolidge will dribble out of bounds. 3:40 left in the game. Still a 14-point lead by the Bears.
And
there's the foul.
And you can almost see the Bears trying to bait Santan Foothills into that 3-point game. Emily Sarton not even defended on that play, completely wide open from 3-point range, never covered. And you know, when you're not shooting well, that's something that the defense can choose to do.
Clog the lane there, and that foul went against Drew McWilliams, her second. Armani misses the first free throw. Misses the second. And she's going to shoot a second shot, I guess. Maybe a lane violation there. Rebound by the Bears.
Time continues to tick away with that 14-point lead, becoming even more insurmountable as we approach 3 minutes left to go in this game.
Yeah, they're really going to have to push the tempo a little bit here, and, you know, that leads to more mistakes. But we're going to have a foul on Brooklyn Pablo, I believe, slapping Morgan Tompkins' wrist as she was shooting. Her first, team third.
Yeah, and that might be the first foul call we've seen in quite some time. There might have been one in there, but we were at 3 team fouls for quite a while in the second half.
Yeah, we had 2 calls against Coolidge in the last minute or so.
And first free throw is good for Tompkins. We'll take a look at the second free throw here and see if she can go 2 for 2 from the line and build some confidence in her shooting. Misses the free throw, but drive to the lane by Chelsea Downs, but good defensive positioning there by the SaberCats. Draw the offensive foul.
That's her fourth. Still a lot of time in the game. I mean, 3 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yeah, you can see why she wants to finish off that drive. Still wants to put some points on the board because you don't want to leave that window open, but definitely a little over-aggressive in making your way to the basket there when you can pull it up.
And Sarton makes that short.
You know, time is still on the side of the Bears, even though there's a window of opportunity. They have a vested interest in slowing this game down right now.
Lead down to 11. And have a foul on Sarton.
I was just going to say, another aggressive drive there by Shea Clegg that draws a foul from the SaberCats.
And that might be her fourth, I think. Yep, her fourth foul. On the last drive, you could see she almost thought about taking a three-point shot, but instead dribbled in and took a higher percentage shot and made it. Shea Clegg misses the first free throw.
Some nights that shooting stroke just isn't there, and you have to adjust for it. That's one of the takeaways from this game right here, I think. If you're looking for what do you talk about in the locker room when you go in after a game like this, that's one of the things that maybe you bring up is how do we adjust when our game plan that we came out here with isn't working? How do we adjust? What do we do to our game plan? And how do we turn a victory here as Becerra nails the three-point shot?
Better late than never, and it's just an 8-point game now. 2:15 left in the game this evening.
Maybe a couple more of those, and this could be a ball game. There is still over 2 minutes left to go in the game.
It all starts with a nice defensive play here. Good rebound by Tompkins, fights for it. Arrow's going to Santan.
You got the nice defensive play, but you gave up the offensive rebound. And luckily this time the possession arrow favors the SaberCats as they look to close in on this 8-point lead.
Sarah to Rodriguez. Tough shot, but Morgan Tompkins is there. Also can't put it off the glass. Timeout, Coolidge. Full timeout. We'll be right back. And we're ready to resume play here. Final minute 45 left in the game. Bears playing the delay game here. Coach probably talked about that in his timeout. Oh boy. Jump ball going to Coolidge this time.
Yeah, good job on the defensive end of the ball there to tie it up. You knew the possession arrows with Coolidge, but a good defensive play, and that's what you want to see out of the girls.
Yeah, and you'd like to have the possession arrow in your favor at least, for the end of the game here.
But this is about the point of no return. You either going to start putting some points on the board on this next offensive series, or the rest of this game is purely academic.
Yeah. And if Coolidge keeps playing this delay game, it might not matter anyway.
Well, and one of the things that works against the SaberCats right now is the lack of fouls, because at some point they might want to start sending the Bears to the line, but with so many fouls to give, you're going to give them a lot of time getting to that 7th-team foul.
And here we go. Shea Clegg's just going to dribble it around until Sarton steps up on her. Closely guarded. He's counting, so she'll have to move. And finds a way to get it in. And puts
Not a great shot, but it still went in.
Yeah, that's tough.
You lost the handle on her way up, but just threw it up and got the friendly roll.
Williams for 3. No good. Off blue, it's going to be white ball. Final minute of play, 54.7 seconds. And the possession arrow is actually still pointing to Coolidge, so I'm wondering if they didn't call a jump ball.
That's one of the things I talked to the scorers table about, the utter confusion that sometimes goes on because of the possession arrow.
Yeah. I ran the scoreboard here last year, and it always threw me off in the different halves because the arrows point different ways one time and the same way the other time.
But I'm fairly certain the officials do have the possession arrow correct on their end.
Yeah.
We see a timeout here called by Santan Foothills with 32 seconds left to go in this ball game. It's going to be a 30-second timeout.
And what are you saying if you're coach here?
Here, it depends on what you want to work on. You can have the positive talk about getting back in this, but realistically, you're not going to get back into a 10-point game with only 32 seconds left. So what do we want to focus on? Do we want to do a quick foul and work on some offensive transitions? Do we want to just chalk this game up, play closely guarded defense, see if we can get a turnover, but lay off the fouls? A lot of it comes down to what your goals in this last 30 seconds as a coach are.
Well, we'll see what they do here. Final 30 seconds inbound to Becerra. Sarton takes the ball.
If nothing else, you want to score quickly. And
Or get offensive rebounds, which we did. AJ off.
And I got to say, if my one takeaway from this game right here is that there was good effort by both sides, but too much of a reliance on the three-point shooting in this game. And unfortunately, in this game, they weren't going in, and that's the difference in the score tonight.
Too bad you don't have like a Reggie Miller or Isaiah Thomas on your team. Could score 10 points in 11 seconds.
I got to feel like if Reggie Miller were out on the court tonight,
It's probably not in this situation.
he's probably on the winning team.
Just the height advantage alone.
Nobody is out rebounding him.
And we have a jump ball. Yeah, the refs are saying it's, yep. Scorer's table's got it figured out. White ball.
But purely academic at this point, 3.9 seconds remaining. You'll probably have one more shot opportunity by the SaberCats here, and it will be Sarton. Oh, no, A.J. Williams, three-pointer. But the timer appears to have not started the clock, and the referees are going to call him out on that and end tonight's game.
It happens, and coach is fired up. He's got a 10-point lead with less than a second left. You know,
Hey, that
the
is
scores are human.
Absolutely, and in large part, our scorers table has just been outstanding this year.
Definitely.
You got to remember that they're volunteers. They're doing this out of the goodness of their heart, and they have done a fantastic job.
And this is the first time for both of them.
It is. So we're going to end the broadcast here. We will be back for the boys' game. That's about 14 minutes from now. So on behalf of the staff and students here at Santan Foothills, we'll be back momentarily.